Next on Worcester News Tonight, Worcester's police and fire departments battle it out on the court for a good cause. Plus, Worcester DPW snow budget is in good shape as cleanups continue in central Massachusetts. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. Worcester's first responders and the College of the Holy Cross team up to support the Ava Roy Fund Wednesday night. Both Worcester Fire and Police took over the court during the women's basketball game for the friendly rivalry match. Our Cam Jandros live in Worcester tonight with more. Cam?
Anna, anytime Worcester Police and Worcester Fire go head-to-head in competition, it makes for a really entertaining evening. But tonight was about more than competition, about more than a friendly rivalry. It was about recognizing those who put themselves on the line every single day and remembering one who gave it all. Worcester Police and Fire departments left their station Wednesday night and headed for the hardwood. The College of the Holy Cross hosted the friendly rivalry game during halftime of the women's basketball game. It's part of the First Responder Appreciation Initiative.
Well, I think you're talking about just heroes in the community, and I think it's an important opportunity for us to recognize those heroes and for all the things that they do for us, you know, not only Holy Cross, but this entire city. 20% of all regularly priced ticket sales at Wednesday's game will be donated to the Ava Roy Fund, which is now well past $500,000. We want to have the money as high as humanly possible and certainly donate to something that's really, really important to us personally, but also to what's important in the city. Following the death of Worcester firefighter Christopher Roy, Fire Chief Michael Lavoie says fundraisers like Wednesdays are bittersweet.
They're supporting us. You know, they're reaching out and they're supporting us, but it hurts. You know, we lost a firefighter and a friend and a father.
For Worcester Fire, these 2 months following firefighter Roy's death have been hard. But Lavoie says the culture in the department is changing. Roughly 50 firefighters have reached out for support or counseling.
I just think it's fantastic. It just shows that, you know, the system is finally working. We're taking care of our own.
Now, Chief Lavoie says the last 2 months have been extremely busy with all of the fundraisers, but that's just a sign of how committed the city of Worcester is in helping its local fire department. For those interested, the fire department came out with the W tonight, winning 4-3. Live in Worcester tonight, I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
The milder winter means Worcester's Department of Public Works still has plenty of money in their snow budget. Commissioner Paul Moosey says the budget has about $4.1 million unspent. They've spent about $1.9 million on 13 events this season, mostly standing and ice events. But Moosey says the last few months the snow has come late in the season.
From this time on, February and March. So there's no guarantee that there'll still be money at the end.
Despite the lack of snow so far this season, Moosey says there's no concern for a drought. He says rain this fall and early winter has the reservoirs in good shape.
Our reservoirs are really beyond where they should be. They're full right now. They're at 100% tip, so they're above the 20-year average right now. So there's not a concern about not filling the reservoirs.
Moosey says if they do have money left over in their budget, it will be up to the city manager where the funds will go. People across central Massachusetts broke out the shovels and snow blowers to clean up the wintry mess left behind by Tuesday's storm. But with the combination of rain, sleet, and snow, it can make for heavy shoveling. Our Chandler Walsh has more on what doctors are reminding people to do to stay safe.
Bill Butler scrapes the remaining snow from his driveway. The type of snow making cleanup harder for shovelers.
Really heavy and wet.
Heavier than normal because wet snow. It's heavy wet snow. It's frozen a little bit, so it's kind of tough to...
Given the conditions, Butler is making sure he stays injury-free in the process.
Use your knees, bend your knees. Make sure when you shovel, don't just use your back. Use your knees, bend your knees.
UMass Memorial Medical Center emergency physician John Broach says this type of snow can cause lower back injuries and joint fractures.
Just today in the emergency department, we've already already seen people with broken ankles, broken wrists. Haven't seen any low back injuries from the snow shoveling yet, but I'm sure as people start to get out and shovel more that we may unfortunately see some of those as well.
Broach says it's important to take small shovelfuls of snow and avoid lifting with the back and overexerting yourself.
If you're out for a while, if you have a long driveway, or if you're not in the best of shape, that you take it easy and go slowly.
Betty Padden was out shoveling Wednesday, but the work started last night. Her husband used the snowblower ahead of the freezing rain to make today's work easier.
We'd be shoveling all of it by hand because the snowblower couldn't handle it.
But for people like Padden who rely on a snowblower, Broach urges caution. He says to never put hands inside the machine, even if it's off.
If you're using a snowblower instead of a shovel, to make sure that you never put your hands inside where the snow comes out, because every single year when it snows, we see people who have their fingers cut off by the snowblowers.
Of course, based on the slush, the snow is starting to melt, but if you do still have some shoveling to do, Broach says to take breaks every 10 to 15 minutes. He says this is especially important because when it's cold outside, you use more energy than you think. In Worcester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
And while this wasn't a huge storm, it did make for some tough conditions on the roads this morning. Monica Medea has more on the cleanup in Leominster.
Cleaning up from another round of snow in Leominster.
The roads in Leominster are pretty bad. They're kind of icy and slushy, but as soon as I hit the state road and this area here, they were fine.
Wednesday morning's commute not nearly as rough as Tuesday evening when slick and slushy conditions left cars stuck on the side of the road.
By the time I got home, it was very icy, very slippery.
Brian Carlson was ready to finish cleaning up the snow on his driveway this morning. Unfortunately, his snowblower wasn't up to the job.
I made it about 5 feet in before it started making noise. I had to check it out and the belt's gone.
Instead, he'll clean up the old-fashioned way. He had extra time. Schools in Leominster started 2 hours late, so his 5th grade daughter could lend a hand.
I like 2-hour delays, mainly because every day we're late, but this gives us extra time. I also like to sleep in, so it gives me a chance to sleep in.
By the time buses full of students rolled into school, plow drivers had already been working around the clock.
We kept them on all night just to keep plowing and salting.
They'll continue to spot treat roads throughout the day, while some people count down the days to warmer weather.
I hate the snow. I'm ready for summer. Are you going to enjoy the snow later at all?
No, it doesn't like me. It's too icy.
Monica Medea, Worcester News Tonight.
UMass Memorial Medical Center ranks as one of the top 7 best hospitals in Massachusetts and is among the best 100 in the country. The rankings are from the website Health Grades. The site says America's 100 best hospitals are in the top 2% of hospitals in the nation for exhibiting clinical excellence for at least 3 consecutive years. The rankings are focused on clinical quality outcomes for 32 conditions and procedures. The Auburn Fire Department on scene of a fuel spill this morning. Fire Captain Sean Steele says a tractor-trailer crash on the Mass Pike earlier this morning caused the fuel spill. The fuel made its way into the drainage system, which empties into the pond by the town's public library. The state's Department of Environmental Protection was also on scene today as the fire department deployed booms to stop the fuel from traveling any further.
Oil on the surface. There's also pads that we throw down, and they do the same thing. So the boom kind of collects it whenever there's a current, and then the pads can soak up any residual. The one good thing or silver lining is down at the end, the ice seemed to trap a lot of the fuel. So where we worked on the dam, that was in case the ice let go, but it looks like a lot of it's contained.
A cleanup company remained on scene with DEP to finish cleaning up and checked on the public's water supply wells. New information from the state's Department of Public Health tonight. The number of people who died from opioid-related overdoses in Massachusetts is down for the 2nd straight year. The report issued by DPH shows a 4% decline in 2018. The report also showed fentanyl was present in nearly 9 out of 10 overdose deaths last year. The Worcester County House of Corrections offers many different programs for inmates to help treat addiction.
One of the things we're trying to do is show them how to live life drug-free and how to deal with the stresses of life without turning to drugs and alcohol to deal with it. This is really a group effort from all of us in law enforcement and community service people. I mean, you know, you have to all come together to combat this crisis, and it starts with education.
Governor Baker calls the decline encouraging, but says the opioid epidemic remains a serious challenge in the state. Temescal Wellness opening its second recreational marijuana dispensary today. As you can see, people were lining up when the dispensary opened this morning. This location is in Hudson, and it was 2,700 square feet of space. The company was granted an adult use license for their Pittsfield and Hudson locations back in December.